Do you want early access? Do you want uncut reactions? If so, then check out our Patreon. Link in the description down below. Ladies and gentlemen, the beach episode, which is a stereotypical thing in anime, and in all honesty, why the hell not, you know? There's got to be that moment where you have that beach bully and, you know, kicking sand up and everything, except, you know, the people who I think were following this episode could very easily just glass every single one of them. Like, just cover them in sand and, like, literally glass them. Wouldn't it be hilarious if they, like, glassed the entire beach? Just so that it would ruin everyone's day?
I mean, I feel like the firebenders, there would be, like, a lot of glass sculpture artists. Honestly.
Yeah. Well, honestly, you think about if someone could get sand, like one of the sandbenders could, like, build something and sculpt it like that. Next thing you know, firebender could come along and cook it and just, like, freeze it in place. I think that'd be pretty cool.
I've heard people talk about this one a lot, and people say that, like, the Avatar filler episodes they're actually some of their favorites.
Well, this is
what people have said.
Well, this is probably one of my favorite filler episodes. This one's a really good one because there's a lot of weight to it. You'll see. But anyway, we have.
But also, if this is fan service, these other anime shows is going to be real awkward considering like all these.
They're all children.
Well, consider this: when this was out, you were underage. That's 2004, 2005. So yeah, you were like 17.
I was
16,
Honestly,
17.
at the time I was a big enough edgelord, I probably would have been like, ooh, Azula.
So I guess I probably would, I mean, I probably would have been 16.
Or May.
I like the kind of woman that's going to fuck up everything that I love. Like, it's like Spike being like, I like the kind of woman that's going to kick my ass. Like, I like the kind of woman that's going to emotionally and physically abuse me.
Good Lord, you're like that one guy from Saving Silverman.
It's like
I was. Like,
it's just like
anymore. I'm just like.
It's like I'm the submissive boyfriend, and you're the hardcore bitch that I've always looked for and dreamed about. And then she starts choking him out. Anyway, let's get to this.
It's gonna be great to hang out on the beach and do nothing.
Welcome to Ember Island, kids.
Who are these two beautiful women?
Can't you tell? It's Lou and me.
Oh, Jesus.
Ember Island is a magical place. Keep an open mind, and it can help you understand yourselves and each other. Time to hit the beach!
Dang, I know swimming is fun and all, but I really think you should be exposing yourself like that. It's your tattoos I'm worried about. What if someone sees you?
Uh-oh.
Water slide's gonna lead out right into the middle of a bunch of people.
The Avatar's alive! We better send a messenger hawk to the Fire Lord.
Well done. Well done. The two introverts under the...
Hey, you need some help unpacking?
Could you scooch just a little bit more to the...
Ha-ha!
Here, this is for you.
Why would I want that?
Don't girls like stuff like this?
Maybe stupid girls.
Forget it!
Uh-oh. Of course, Ty Lee.
This is so pretty.
Not as pretty as you are.
Why are
so great. Ty Lee, get
I mean,
over
lucky
here
for him,
now.
they're already dating. So.
Dang it, Ty Lee.
When she runs toward the ball, there's just the slightest hesitation of her left foot. I'm willing to bet a childhood injury has weakened her.
Wow.
Keep serving the ball to her left and we'll destroy her and the rest of her team.
It's like, alright, Coach fucking Kamoshida.
Arise from the ashes of your shame and humiliation.
You're invited. Just so you know, though, some of the most important teenagers in the Fire Nation are going to be at this party, so try and act normal.
We'll do our best. I guess I was intrigued. I'm so used to people worshipping us.
They should.
Yes, I know, and I love it. But for once, I just wanted to see how people would treat us if they didn't know who we were.
Uh-oh.
Nice.
Damn.
Oh.
Yes. No messages. Nothing.
I heard you telling someone you'd be partying from dusk till dawn. It's dusk, so we're here.
But that's just an expression.
We are the perfect party guests. We arrive right on time because we are very punctual.
Oh, for God's sake.
That's a sharp outfit, Chan. Careful. You could puncture the hull of an Empire-class Fire Nation battleship, leaving thousands
my
to drown at sea.
Her
Because it's
her
so
conversation
sharp.
skills suck.
Look, it doesn't matter who went first, because I like you all.
But which one of us do you like?
Yeah, tell us.
Careful, boys.
I
Careful,
know.
don't corner her. That's what I was afraid of.
You're not a challenge. You're a tease. It's not like they actually care who you are.
Oh.
Okay, calm down. I didn't mean what I said. Look,
Oh wow,
maybe I
she
just said it
actually was
because I'm
nice to
a
someone.
little- For some reason, when I meet boys, they act as if I'm going to do something horrible to them.
But
Because
you
you
probably
probably
would
are.
do something horrible to them.
There you
That's
go.
right.
They're just intimidated by you. Just look at him and smile a lot and laugh at everything he says, even if it's not funny.
Well, that sounds really shallow and stupid. Let's try it.
Hey there.
It's a great place, if you like sand. Yeah, it's like, welcome to Sandyland.
Oh God, no.
Your arms look so strong.
Yeah, I know.
Together, you and I will be the strongest couple in the entire
Here
world.
it goes.
We will
Here it goes.
dominate the earth.
Yeah, exactly.
I gotta go.
Boom. Is he getting her some gyoza or something? Oh.
Hey, watch it! That food was for my cranky girlfriend.
Uh-oh.
What are you doing? Stop talking to my girlfriend.
Relax. It's just a party.
Oh!
Zuko,
Damn.
what is wrong with you? You're so impatient and hot-headed and angry.
Well, at least I feel something. As opposed to you, you have no passion for anything. You're just a big blah.
Blah.
It's over, Zuko.
We need to find a proper place.
If you're gonna
to
date a
sulk.
goth girl, you can't insult her gothdom.
Nope. He needs a proper place to sulk.
Guys, you're all gonna think I'm crazy, but it feels like a metal man is coming.
Uh-oh.
Fuck.
Oh, crap.
Damn!
I think it's time to run.
Yeah.
Come down to the beach with me. Come on. This place is depressing.
Are you cold?
I'm
Easy.
freezing.
I'll make a fire.
That was pretty
Nice.
Using the propulsion of the explosion to carry
cool.
him
Oh,
away.
that was awesome.
Yo. Whee! Hey, there you go.
I'm okay.
Well, that was random.
I don't think so. I get the feeling he knows who we are.
Why don't you just mind your own business?
I know you.
No, you don't. You're stuck in your little Ty-Lee world where everything's great all the time. Circus freak.
Ouch.
Wow, rude.
Yes, I'm a circus freak. Go ahead and laugh all you want. Growing up with 6 sisters who look exactly like me?
Don't tell the boys on the
I didn't
beach.
even have my own name. I joined the circus because I was scared of spending the rest of my life as part of a matched set.
I'm sorry I can't be as high-strung and crazy as the rest of you.
I'm sorry too. I wish you would be high-strung and crazy for once, instead of keeping all your feelings bottled up inside.
You want a teary confession about how hard my childhood was? I was a rich only child who got anything I wanted, as long as I behaved and sat still and didn't speak unless spoken to.
Well, that's it then. You had a controlling mother who had certain expectations, and if you strayed from them, you were shut down.
You want me to express myself? Leave me alone!
My life hasn't been that easy either, May.
Whatever. That doesn't excuse the way you've been acting.
For so long, I thought that if my dad accepted me, I'd be happy. I'm back home now. My dad talks to me. He even thinks I'm a hero. Everything should be perfect, right? I should be happy now. But I'm not. I'm angrier than ever, and I don't know why.
Who are you angry at?
No one. I'm just angry.
Yeah. Who are you angry at, Zuko?
Everyone. I don't know.
Who are you angry at?
Answer the question, Zuko.
Talk to us.
Come on, answer the question.
Come on, answer it.
I'm angry at myself. Because I'm not sure I know the difference between right and wrong anymore.
I know one thing I care about. I care about you.
Oh.
My own mother thought I was a monster. She was right, of course, but it still hurt.
Damn.
What Lo and Lee said came true. The beach did help us learn about ourselves.
We've got some bad news, Chan.
Party's over.
Wait, for real? They're just gonna...
Oh! The world burning behind him.
That was kind of a weird bookend to that.
Yeah, quite the weird bookend. Jesus criminy.
I really don't think that guy deserved that.
No.
Well, he acted like a jerk, but at the same time, yeah. If anything, you know, just been like, I would have just been like, oh, by the way, he's like, oh, by the way, I never got your name, Azula. Azula, huh? You share a name with the. Oh. Yeah. And she's just like, mm-hmm.
It's just like, I'm sorry you and all your friends are completely and totally emotionally wrecked and socially inept. That's not my fault. Why would you destroy my parents' house?
Yeah, that's kind of...
Well, he was being a dingus, but yeah, he doesn't deserve that.
I mean, to be fair, Zuko has a lot of pent-up aggression, so he was kind of being a dingus the entire party.
Well, yeah, I mean...
It honestly kind of irks me that she's just like, I care about you. What did he say that was, like, redeeming of him being a dickhead for the past, like, however many hours?
Well, I think the one thing with Zuko, it's just May and Zuko, they keep finding each other again, and even though they say it's over, it's not really it. I've had relationships like that. The girl says it's over, I say it's over, but it's not really over until...
I don't
like,
play that game. If a girl says it's over, it's fucking over. I'd be
Well,
like,
no,
you said it
because-
was fucking over, so it's fucking over.
Well, exactly.
I don't play that shit.
But here's the thing: we keep talking, and then we realize, okay, there's still more here, probably. And it's frustrating
It's an
having
unhealthy
a back and
relationship.
forth like that.
It's an unhealthy relationship. If
I
you're
know
doing that all the time.
I know, and it fucked with my head. There's a reason why I haven't been in a long-term relationship in what seems to be almost a decade now, man. Like, I've gone on dates, I've like a couple of times here and there, but nothing long-term. Like, no solid like relationship that I can speak of. And honestly, I don't know why I'm afraid to commit. I'm afraid because of how bad the divorce between my parents was, and it completely turned me off from getting in a relationship, period. I mean, the futility of getting married nowadays because of how much red tape is surrounding it. I mean, just so much shit. Oh, and also, bringing a kid up in this world that is, in a world where insanity is pretty much the norm. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's easy enough. It's easier now to live a life of comfort now than ever has been before. But what's the point of all the comfort if you lose your fucking mind during it? I mean, and this episode here. I mean, we kind of saw a little bit of character growth with everyone, save for Azula, because Azula's accepted the fact that she's a monster and she doesn't want to be anything but that. And I was hoping when I first saw this episode, maybe we'd see something about Azula, like a fragility, which we kind of did there when it came to talking about her mother. But then she put the veil back on. It's like, oh, I'm evil. I'm supposed to be this bad person.
She had like a couple of half seconds of not being a completely heinous bitch.
Yeah.
It's mainly like the whole like, I kind of like to have a boyfriend. How do you get a boyfriend? Well, first off, you have to not be such a heinous bitch. Like,
there was that moment where she stepped all over Tylee's feelings, and then
Tylee kind of gave her...
kind of walked back on it. And
that was the first time I've seen her actually like show that she had any sort of care for anyone, like other than herself. Like,
I think
this whole time I've been skeptical, like, you know, like I've just assumed like she's just completely using like these other two girls for her own purposes and stuff. It isn't really their friend, but that actually kind of shows at least she does kind of consider them her friends.
A rudimentary,
even though she is also using them for her own purposes.
Yeah, she definitely takes it for granted. I think if anything ever changes that forces her to realize that she does need people more than she thinks, it'll probably be, you know, pretty hard for her. Because, I mean, as a princess, you kind of, it's like you just take for granted that, like, everyone exists to kind of, you know, abide by you in some way. So, you know. If, like, they were to be the Fire Nation or something and she didn't really have princess status anymore, I think it would be, like, super hard for her. Cause,
it's hard to have empathy when you're brought up and everyone drills into your brain that, like, you're number one and everybody else has to... you know, and step to your every desire, pretty much.
And even your friends, you know, those who are supposed to challenge you on some level of, like, your social skills and all that, you know, even her friends, like Tylee, was just like, you're the smartest, most beautiful person, you know, most perfect girl in the world. It's like, when you have that drilled into your head, too, from the people who are supposed to be your friends, it's like, every now and again, you know, we each look at each other and we're just like, hey, calm it down a little bit. Hey, let's move on to this. Let's be more rational about this. Instead, it's just like glad handing Azula anything that she wants. And it that can be very, very bad when you've just been handed everything and you don't have anyone there to challenge you.
Yeah, when someone's like positively reinforcing your negative actions, you're just gonna keep doing them.
Because you don't think anything's wrong. It's like it's not showing anything bad happening. So why should that matter? Everyone else is below me. But yeah, like I said, probably one of the best filler episodes, if not the best filler episode. So yeah. Anyway, also the assassin, we got to see what he was capable of, and good golly, Miss Molly.
He's got a big metal leg and a big metal arm, and he shoots lasers from his forehead.
From what everyone has said, about his ability, it's pretty much high compressed air that he's able to it's a breathing apparatus that comes out of his forehead, and it's a very highly focused like pinhole, sort of like a whale, almost, kind of. And what he's able to do, it's effectively the same thing Anton had from No Country for Old Men. Just it's just like the cattle prod.
I thought he was using like his like chi to like firebend or something.
No, well, no. What he does is he shoots the highly impacted air, and then he expands it with his firebending. Because air, you can compress very good. You can compress very in very small areas.
So you're saying that tattoo thing is a hole in his head that he expels air from?
Pretty much.
And he ignites it with his firebending.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna use a line from It's Always Sunny. It's like, I don't know enough about that to actually dispute it, but at the same time, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah. So he's like a firebending whale man.
Well, I call him the firebending golem because, you know, his ability is just like he exists for one purpose:
murder.
Kill the Avatar. And honestly, the more you'll see of him this season, the more you'll come to see what he's capable of. And
at least they also use their filler episode to actually like advance the plot a little.
Yes, even so.
It's not like it's a skippable filler episode. Or anything.
Yeah, it wasn't
There were
like
actually
dumb fan service.
some
Stuff was
important things
happening.
that will
Yes.
persist from that episode. So that's cool.
And that's why I love this episode. I love this episode because it does that, and also we get great character development on Zuko, Ty Lee, May, some with Azula, and yeah, it makes fun of the stereotype of the beach episode in anime,
Right.
which is pretty funny. But all right,
I don't know if you could call all of that character development or not, because I'd have to go back and reanalyze it. But it felt like a lot of it was just like really negative development.
Just
like
their teen angst
it was
floating,
like
bubbling to
character.
the surface.
It was like I mean, you think of character development being usually a lot like growing and stuff, but it was a lot of like people trying to basically play psychiatrists on each other that
Nick,
have no fucking business talking
Nick,
about anyone else's problems at all.
First step to solving a problem.
Exposition on the other team, I guess.
Well, first step. What is the first step to solving a problem?
Admitting there is one.
Retail therapy.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I guess that Zuko at least like admitting that. Well, I guess they all kind of admitted their different problems.
Yeah.
They admitted the cause of their problems as far as they see it.
Well, yeah. And
it was basically like, so this is why I have all these, like, you know, emotional problems, and this is why I have all these emotional problems, but, like...
Well, everyone's got their own baggage. And
I guess that's admitting you have a problem whenever you come up with the cause of the problems.
There was actually a movie that came out a few years ago called Mid-90s, and there's this big moment where this kid was, like, really angry and fighting everybody else and just, like, you know, claiming no one would know the bullshit that he goes through. He was getting abused by his brother on the daily, pretty much. Like, anytime he came home, he would, like, look in his brother's room at stuff, and his brother would, like, literally beat the shit out of him for even thinking about going in his room. And, anyway, he was mad, and he got in a fight with one of his friends, and then the ringleader of the crew comes over, and he's just like, so what you mad about and all that? And he's just like, you wouldn't understand. He's like, you know... The kid you just got in a fight with, he gets abused by his dad on the daily. His dad's a drunk, and his mom's never there. And honestly, that's the thing about everyone else's bullshit. It's like you wouldn't trade your bullshit for theirs, and they wouldn't trade theirs for yours, because in all honesty, your bullshit is the bullshit that honestly you need to deal with. It's not your job to deal with anyone else's until you deal with yours. And he's right. And for such a silly movie like mid-90s to have like a little bit of a philosophical thing like that, it was like, damn, you know, it's not bad.
It's simplified philosophy.
It's very simple. Well, it's
true though.
Well, the kids in the movie are like 15 and 16. Like the youngest one's like 12 or 13. And also the kid I was mentioning, he's played by Sonny Suljic, the same kid that played Atreus in God of War.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, really cool, really cool movie. But anyway, that was Avatar: Last Airbender, Book 3, Chapter 5, The Beach. Hopefully you all enjoyed that, and hopefully we will see you all in the next one. So until next time, I'm Nate.
Micah.
I'm Nick.
We'll see you then, everybody. Peace out.
Well, that sounds really shallow and stupid.